servants. So Trump is a servant and not an Israelite. Do you see that? He's not a Jew. So it made sense in my head. I'm not going to be dogmatic about it. But the comparison, like when we thought Obama was the Antichrist, Obama didn't do anything. Trump is the builder. Trump is getting it done. You know, a month ago, he's standing there. I brought peace to the Middle East. He's going to sign that covenant right after the rapture. So he's like Satan's servant. God's going to let him be the seventh, the first half Antichrist, all of it. But I want to say one last thing. Chuck Missler's up in heaven right now, and he's kicking himself. I know he is. He's kicking himself because he missed this. So Daniel 4:30, I'm still in New Living, but I'll switch it back to the King James. This is Nebuchadnezzar. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? Is not this great Babylon? So here's mystery, Babylon the Great. Nebuchadnezzar called it Great Babylon. And Missler is kicking himself because he never considered Israel is mystery, Babylon the Great. So again, people today are still like, it's the United States, it's the Vatican, it's Rome, it's this, it's that. People, if the Antichrist is going to stop the oblation and walk into the Jewish temple, the tribulation temple in Israel, and declare himself to be God and run the world out of Israel, doesn't it make sense that they were mystery Babylon? I mean, how could it be the United States and Israel's like an afterthought, but he's going to go into the temple of Israel and then what, beat the United States down? It's a no-brainer. So when I was, in this, I just wrote right on my notes, Missler's kicking himself because he missed this. So again, Solomon, he knew Israel was at their zenith under Solomon, just like Nebuchadnezzar was at his zenith and said, hey, great Babylon. He should have put that all together and figured it out. But look, God hid that for 2,000 years. Nobody hardly considered Israel. There were some people that did, but it's all amazing. All right, praise God. Let's keep the train moving. Okay, 1 Kings 12. So again, Solomon got seriously corrupted by 700 wives, 300 concubines. And listen, you have to think for a little bit. Solomon, the Lord appeared to him twice, gave him wisdom. Solomon had everything a man could ever want, dear Lord. Riches, power, wisdom, women. He had everything. Kings from around the earth coming to hear him speak with 9,000 pounds of gold in their hand. Here's gold. Tell me about your wisdom. Do you understand what's going on? So this guy built altars to Ashtaroth, Chemosh, Molech. And again, we're going to get into the Molech. Molech was the worst one of all, where they took their newborn babies. My son just had my grandson. He's a month old. He's precious. He's beautiful, a tender baby. God said the fruit of the womb is your reward. God gave us children. This is how he did it. Put everybody in play. Precious babies, God's people, the Jews, and again, I'm ahead of myself, we'll read it, put it on a 1,000-degree statue of Molech with his arms out, and they burnt their babies alive, listening to him scream. What could that have sounded like? Listen, killed their babies, burned to death on the altar of Molech, worshiping Satan himself, stirring up the Jewish people to do this. Solomon built these altars on the Mount of Olives, no less, which again, it's a 20-minute walk from the Temple Mount, from the temple right up to the Mount of Olives. So it's right behind God's temple that Solomon built. Does this make any sense? So again, Satan was the anointed cherub that covereth, one of God's greatest creations, and he was corrupted by his beauty. His wisdom got corrupted by his beauty. Solomon's wisdom got corrupted by, his lusts, riches, whatever it is. It's unthinkable. It's unheard of what he did. I mean, really, we don't think about it enough that they would do that. So listen to this. So now you're the Jewish people, all these foreign women who have their different gods, and Solomon heeded to them and got the people to do it. So could you imagine being a regular Jewish couple living in Israel, living in this unbelievable place that Solomon built, and here you are taking your newborn baby and laying it on the altar of Molech, burning your baby to death? Now watch, you go home, then what? Think about the reality of it. So now you go home, a woman carried this baby for 9 months, the pregnancy, and they're back home. What are they hoping for? What did they do that for? So they get more money? Hey, can you get me a better job? Here's my baby. You're going home to silence of the baby. You got to deal with the fact that you just offered this to a demon god, Satan himself probably. I mean, it's insanity. Do you see that? Listen, I'll jump ahead a little bit. I never focused on this part. Revelation 17:5. This, and again, it's all capitals because it's on the forehead. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. And this is the part I just never focused on. And abominations of the earth. That means she's the mother of the abominations of the earth. This is an abomination when you take your precious newborn baby that God gave to you as a reward and you're burning it on the altar of Molech. It's a big deal. Do you see this? So that's what I've been calling her all day in my study, the mother of abominations. It's an abomination to God. Oh man, I can't even imagine doing that. I mean, listen, when I have my babies, they talk about SIDS and all the things that happen to babies. Anytime it made a noise, I'm up looking, not choking on your vomit. You're not on your stomach so you can breathe. I was a nervous mother hen over my babies when they were little. I mean, that's really the way I was, thinking, oh man, got to keep this baby alive. And here they are. And then they go home for what? What did you sacrifice your baby for? What were you hoping for? A better job, more money, food to eat? What are you doing it for? It's insanity. And that's why God called her the mother of all abominations. All right. So 1 Kings 12, I'm just going to have you read it all. And, to catch up, be familiar with the story. I'll do it for sake of time. I won't do it for sake of time. But verse 14, just to back up what I said. And he spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. But watch this line, verse 15. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahijah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. So think about that. For the cause was from the Lord. What cause? He caused Rehoboam, Solomon's son, to not listen to the people, and he made their taxes, and listen, what it was when I dug it out is forced labor. So it's no different than when they were in Egypt and they had to do forced labor there. So it's forced labor, high taxes. He said, I'm going to make it worse for you. So again, he's worse, like a type of the Antichrist, but But you can't miss that. For the cause was from the Lord. I wrote on my notes, the Lord controls every drop of everything. This is all the plan of God. If you don't like it, you can complain to him. You won't get anywhere. It's not a good idea, but God put it in there. He wants you to know he's running every drop. So this is like a perfect story. All right, in verse 18 and 19, then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute. That tribute means forced labor. And all Israel stoned him with stones that he died. Therefore, King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Rehoboam shows up with like the tax collector, the labor force guy. Hey, you guys get to work. You heard your king. They stone him to death. And Rehoboam's like, oh, I better get out of here. They're going to kill me. So I thought that was kind of funny. But that was their rebellion. That's the 10 northern tribes saying, no, we have nothing to do with you anymore. Let me see that too. That's verse 19. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. You know, only Judah, because God said, because of your father David, I'll allow your son Rehoboam to still be in charge of Judah, which is in charge of Jerusalem. Okay, so in the other part of that section was verse 24. Thus saith the Lord, what Rehoboam got 180,000 soldiers. He was going to go kill the 10 northern tribes. Thus saith the Lord, ye shall not go up nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearkened therefore to the word of the Lord and returned to depart according to the word of the Lord. So again, Rehoboam could have said, well, I don't care, it's from you, God. I'm still going to kill him. But no, he obeyed God, because God controlled it all and made him obey and told him, hey, this whole rebellion thing against you, it's from me. So twice in that section, this whole thing is from God. So this appointed time that we're talking about is from God. That's what I want you to see. Okay. So, listen, I won't even read this. I was going to read the rest of it. 25 through 33 is the Jeroboam building the 2 golden calves. 28, whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold, thy gods, Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. He set one in Bethel, he put the other in Dan. Amos 8:14, thy God, O Dan, liveth. So there's the reference, Bethel, golden calf, Dan. It all makes sense. Verse 32, and Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah, and he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made, and he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So one thing I want you to notice, when we're going to see when the prophet comes and the ashes come out of the altar, he's already been doing this. So this could have been years. So God didn't send that prophet until he's already been sacrificing, because that's right there on the 8th month, 15th day, he offered upon the altar. So he already made the offering. They've already celebrated this Jeroboam Day 8:15 on the calendar. So it's already in play. So when we read, hey, the prophet came that day, it wasn't the first day that he did it. So I missed that before or never thought about it. So the last verse, so he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. So listen, he ordained a feast. He ordained a moed, a feast, the whole thing. So it's a somewhat remote feast, hidden feast. I'm telling you, this is the day. This is the day of the start of the tribulation. Therefore, we got to be raptured. It makes perfect sense. And I put that on my notes. Okay, so now we're getting into the juice. Dear Lord, here we go. Okay, 1 Kings 13. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord unto Bethel, and Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. And he cried against the altar in the word of the Lord, and said, O altar, altar, thus saith the Lord, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name, and upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high places that burn incense upon thee. So that's the alive people. And men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, this is the sign which the Lord hath spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, split, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. So people, I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest prophecies of the Bible. We just didn't know it. We're going to know it now. So real quickly, 2 Chronicles 9:29. And listen, I found this by looking up the name Jeroboam. So again, that's the greatest way to study. I think if I had to sum up how God taught me to learn and do these things, when you have like powder, we're going to do powder later. Powder is only used in the Bible 8 times in 7 verses. Jeroboam, look at everything that says Jeroboam. Judgment, look at judgment. Noonday, look at noonday. So it's all, when it's connected, it's connected. When it's not, it's not. When it's connected, you read the verses around that, you just get more information, more information, more information. So this is how I found it. Now, I don't know if I said this on the last video, but at the risk of repeating, I watched Skip Heitzig the other day, his teaching on 1 Kings 13, the Jeroboam story. And he kept saying, oh, I love this. It says the man of God came. This guy, a man of God, we don't know his name and blah, blah, blah. So he said that during the message, several times. He never found what the man of God's name actually was. But the fact that God sent the man of God and didn't name him, there's the hidden. There's the somewhat remote. Remote means hidden, concealed. So there's that element to it. It's like unknown. This is the unknown start of the tribulation. Nobody ever knew when the tribulation would start. Everybody looked for the rapture. They should have been looking for the tribulation. God was brilliant in all this. So anyway, by the word search, 2 Chronicles 9:29, now the rest of the acts of Solomon, first and last, are they not written in the book of Nathan the prophet and in the prophecy of Ahijah the Shilonite? Now look, I was going to read that. God sent a prophet, Ahijah the Shilonite, to Jeroboam. He grabbed Jeroboam's coat and he ripped it into 12 pieces, and he gave him 10 pieces and said, here, you're going to have 10 kingdoms. So, I don't know what else to make out of that, but he got 10 kingdoms. That was the prophecy. God sent a real prophet to him. So it didn't mean anything to Jeroboam, as you're going to see. So that was the story I was going to read. But that's who that guy is. And in the prophecy of Ahijah the Shilonite, and in the visions of Iddo the seer against Jeroboam the son of Nebat. So now we know his name is Iddo. There's like 14 Iddos in the Bible, or a 14 or 13 time usage, but this Iddo is a one-time usage. Why would God do that? Why couldn't he just be the other Iddos? It doesn't even make sense, right? Iddo, but it makes sense because there's only a one-time start to the tribulation. So God sent an unknown prophet who he called man of God. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord unto Bethel, and Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. So here comes the man of God. Now we know his name is Iddo. And Iddo is a one-time usage that means appointed. That is clear as a bell. That is 100% appointed. Why wouldn't God send a prophet named Judgment? Dummy. Hey, Jeroboam, you're doing stupid things here. My name's Dummy, and that's a message to you. You're doing dumb stuff, whatever. And I just made that up. But you get what I'm saying. His name could have been anything. His name is appointed. This is the appointed time in all God's history that starts the 70th week of Daniel. I'm telling you, you're going to see it. The root word, okay, is more than 14, 29 time usage, which I don't even think it's connected to the other iddos. Actually, it's not. If I remember that correctly from last year, it's not connected to the other iddos. And by the way, Zechariah the prophet, his grandfather was named Iddo. Either his father or grandfather, and I think it was his grandfather, but no connection to this Iddo. So the root word is a 29 time usage, 3529. It means to meet together, to assemble, to gather, appointed, set time, betrothed, get married. God threw it in there. Appointment. That makes sense. This is the root word of his name, which means appointed. One-time usage. This is gold. So, okay. So I just looked up one of these. Let me see how I can do it. Let me just pull up the name. Nah, I screwed up. Micah chapter 6, verse 9. This is the root word to Iddo the prophet, the one-time usage. So this is the root word. The Lord's voice crieth unto the city. Think about that. The Lord's voice crieth unto the city. So when the Lord's voice is heard in the city, that's a big deal. Something's going on. The Lord's voice crieth unto the city, and the man of wisdom shall see thy name. Hear ye the rod, and who hath appointed it? We're the rods. Who hath appointed it? That's the word, appointed it. So Micah 6:9, and again, you can read it all, people. Pause the video and read it. It's all day of the Lord stuff. It's all day of the Lord, surrounded by this. It's all the whole Bible is the day of the Lord, tribulation talk, day of the Lord, all of it. So the Lord's voice crieth unto the city, and the man of wisdom shall see thy name. Hear ye the rod, and who hath appointed it? Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable? Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances and with the bag of deceitful weights? So again, this is all the evilness of mystery, Babylon the Great. Okay, and this is where the root word of Iddo, the one-time usage, Job 9:19. So this word is also this, and we read this before. I remember doing it. This is the Lord. If I speak of strength, lo, he is strong, or Job talking, but obviously this is Job. If I speak of strength, lo, he is strong. And if of judgment, who shall set me a time to plead? So set me a time is the root word to plead. This means who's God saying, who's going to call me to trial? I call you to court, to trial, and that's why I did the Revelation 3:10. The time of temptation is coming on the whole world. That word means trial. So it's all found in here, meaning the root word of ido is the appointed time to start the tribulation, which is a trial. Revelation 3:10, found in Job 9:19, God saying, you're gonna set a time for my trial? No, I'm setting a time for your trial. Do you see it? It's, praise God. Oh. Yeah, so the prophet was unknown because this day was unknown until God manifested it in our times right now. All right, let's keep moving. Praise God. Okay, verse 2. This is a big one now. And he cried against the altar in the word of the Lord and said, O altar, altar, thus saith the Lord, behold, a child will be born to the house of David, Josiah by name. But let's stick with the altar. So, Lord, please help me. This was the part that blew me away. This prophecy is to the altar. It's not to Jeroboam. So what does that mean? That means it's future, not just the fulfillment in Josiah, which we're going to read. It's to the altar. What's the ultimate altar of God? The Holy of Holies, the whole temple, but the Holy of Holies. Got the holy place and the Holy of Holies, where the Ark of the Covenant, the mercy seat, high priest once a year has to sprinkle the blood that he sacrificed in the holy place. He brings the blood and he sprinkles it on the mercy seat. And in the Holy of Holies is the presence of God. So I just, confession, I didn't realize the altar of God. You know there's an altar in heaven, right? This is bigger deal than I ever imagined or thought of. Like, I don't think of altar stuff. It's Jewish stuff. They sacrifice. We got the cross of Christ. We're not trained in altar thinking. So again, Revelation 8, and another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given to him much incense. And again, the high priest would have to burn incense, and the incense would create a smoke so that he wouldn't be able to view the whole mercy seat. It kind of veiled the presence of God from the high priest, because it's hard to be in the presence of God when you're a sinner. So, it was a real delicate, serious situation. But that's what I found out the incense was for, to kind of create smoke, so it wouldn't be clear in there, to shelter the presence of God. Having a golden censer, and there was given him a much incense, that he should offer it up with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. So this is heaven. God has an altar in heaven. You can find it in Revelation 9. And let me just quickly, I want to read these. These are important. Hebrews 9:12. Neither by the blood of goats or calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. So Jesus took his blood on the holy place, the altar of God in heaven, and sprinkled his blood on that. For what? Eternal redemption for us. So Jesus fulfilled all that, not in the temple of Herod, in the holy place. And listen to me. Oh, Lord, he just gave me a real-time revelation. Hold on. I got to save it. I got to write it down. Oh man, Lord, that's amazing. Oh, okay, I got it right there. I gotta remember. Hold on. That's great, Lord. You just added to it. Oh, okay. Look at that. Maybe he's rewarding me for reading this right now because this is his holy word. This book is everything. Hebrews 10:19. Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the holiest by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way, which he hath consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say, his flesh, and having a high priest over the house of God. Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. And again, this is Hebrews 10. We go right into the Lord will not tarry and he's coming. Hebrews is, listen, if I had one book on a desert island, it would have to be Isaiah because it mirrors the whole Bible. But my second book might be the book of Hebrews. There's so much juice in here.